A long time ago, back when Flash was still alive and well, there was once a game that was pretty simple in premise and rather enjoyable to play. But, like a lot of games back in those times, the difficulty ramped up pretty fast and absolutely unforgiving. Welcome to the launch of this channel. I'm the Late Night Gamer where, thanks to my busy schedule, I only have time to play games late at night. Hence, Late Night Gamer. Take a trip with me into a world filled with these strange, slime-like creatures called gloopals as we go into their nests and slaughter them one by one and attempt to reclaim the world for humankind. That being said, it isn't easy as it looks, as I must run around the screen swinging my massive sword until each nest is cleared, splat every single variant of gloopal, be burned, freeze, stabbed, speared, eaten, and even exploded in an attempt to free mankind forever. This is how I got 100% an Amorphous Plus. First things first, how are we going to achieve 100%? It's actually pretty simple. All we gotta do is fill out the bestiary, collect all 11 rewards, which we can unlock by acquiring keys, and collect all 110 awards. Simple, right? Well, that's what I thought at first too, at least for the first 20 or so awards. But little did I know that even though there are tips within the game itself, and even some helpful guides on the glorious wide web of the world, some of these awards take so much effort and insight you really do need to read the tips in order to figure out how the hell to unlock them on purpose. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've played this game a long while ago of X year before Twitter took the title. Because of that, there are a couple awards that I quickly knock out. By starting out with a smaller nest and running around like a headless chicken, I eventually unlocked the Pacifist Award for not swinging my massive sword. This is not an innuendo, no matter how much I sound. I promise. Because as you can see, you are indeed given a massive sword. From there, I do what I can to dodge the two giant slimes. And I mean giant. Look at them, they're so huge, they're going to absorb my soul. Anyway, as I try to dodge them, I perform my first swing of the game, splatting two gloopies in the process, earning me both the participation and the good combo awards. Did I say gloopies? My bad. They're called gloopals, and I have a bad habit of not being able to read names correctly, nor the script. That being said, if I do say gloopies, please just go with it, because I might actually read it as gloopals on the strip. Ooh. On the script, not the strip. Whoa, I can't even pronounce words correctly. Anyway, it's the little guys that look like Jolly Ranchers. Those are technically called gloopals, but I might call them gloopies. Before I get to the rest of the objectives or the other modes, I would like to first explain how the awards work, as I take out the big green guys known as oozles. And yes, that is what they're called. They are called oozles. As you unlock an award, you get one step closer to getting a key. These keys will allow you to unlock one of 10 rewards, not awards, rewards. Yes, there is a reward and there is an award. And I'm gonna try not getting confused. Regardless, if you've been paying attention, to recall earlier in this video that I said there are 11 rewards that I kinda need to get. And you would be right. However, only 10 of them can be unlocked by this method of getting the awards. And I'm gonna say awards, so I don't accidentally say rewards when I mean awards. Anyway, we'll get to the last reward later, but for now, I'll use 3 swings to take out not only both of the oozles, but a couple of the other gloopals as well, which unlocks multiple rewards. Awards, not rewards. This has to be my favorite mechanic in this game. Anytime you do something that would unlock more than one award, not reward, I really need to make sure I'm saying award here. Anytime you do something that would unlock more than one award, you unlock one of each of those awards, including any award that is progressive. Is this clear enough? Are you guys following me? Because I really hope so. Because that was really hard to say without saying reward, and I don't know why. Regardless, with that final swing, I successfully splattered an oozle, and a total of 5 enemies in one swing, unlocking me the following rewards. Awards, not rewards. Ooh. Hopefully by the end of the video, I'll actually get that right. Anyway, the awards go as follows. 3 licks for splatting an oozle, massive swing for getting a swing score of 150 points, all of the progressive awards leading up to massive swing, novice for reaching a total score of 100 points, awesome combo for splattering 5 enemies with 1 swing, and the 2 progressive awards before the awesome combo award. I really wanted to say reward. Now, for the game modes, they're actually pretty simple. First, there's practice mode. So you can practice on how to, stay alive for a long amount of time and hopefully, beat the game. Or how to successfully splat an enemy. There's Bounty Run, where you survive as long as you can after choosing the difficulty ramp from slow to absurd, and Single Nest mode. This mode is where I spend most of the playthrough, as it's the one I come back to in order to collect some very difficult awards. And I mean very difficult, especially for someone who's not good at this game. In nest mode, you choose this size of nest of either being small, big, or huge, and yes, that's what she said. From there, you have to spot a specific number of enemies. Technically, all enemy types are a form of Gloople, but only the little green Jolly Ranchers have the actual name, Gloople. And yes, that is quote, unquote. So, as long as you have splat enemies, you get closer to clearing a nest, which is great. Small nests have 200 Glooples, big nests have 350, and huge have a whopping 500 Glooples, what the fuck? And simply starting in small, we can start working towards as many rewards as awards, not rewards, awards, such as Lemony for splatting a sticky. You know what they say, if you want a quickie award, you gotta splat that sticky. Jokes aside, each nest has a specific number of enemy types, unlike Bounty Run. Hence why I like to just do nests for specific awards, for literally that reason. In the case of small nests, the only enemies you'll usually find are going to be Gloopies, Stickies, Clutters, Melties, and Biters. Speaking of Clutters, I try to go for another reward, award. Whoa, I actually read it as reward, rather than reading as award and then saying reward. Anyway, this award is called Bully, and you get it by scaring a Clutter off the screen. But, even though I didn't swing my massive sword, I did unlock it. This would come to taunt me way later in the video when I have something absolutely unforgiving to do. But for now, I decide to acquire the Replication Award for splattering a full-grown Clutter. I specifically said full-grown for a reason. You see, after you splat a full-grown Clutter, up to 3 mini Clutters break out and run around like the little cowards they are, because they suck. This is important for a couple of reasons. The first reason is simply because I absolutely hate them, if that wasn't clear enough. They aren't the worst, but when the little guys grow up, then it becomes a problem. The second reason is actually pretty sweet. If you're fast enough, you can rack up both points and unlock more combo-based awards. The final reason is that the little Clutters and the fully grown adult Clutters each have their own related awards, but I will get into that later. After almost getting my first death to a biter, of course, it ended up pushing me into an oozle, giving me my first of very many deaths of the run. I hate biters. You'll see why later. As we take a break from the gameplay, I can now go into how the awards work, seeing as I unlocked 16 of them in a span of a few minutes. Again, the first few 50 of them are easy to unlock. It's because of the last 60 that this video even exists. There are 3 tiers of awards: bronze, silver, and gold, much like the Olympics. Bronze being the easiest of awards, and gold being the hardest to obtain. After the first crack at the small nest, I unlocked a total of 10 bronze, 5 silver, and 1 gold award. So you may have a better idea as to why this is going to take as long as it does. There are a total of 12 different types of awards, with 7 of those types being progressive awards. The progressive awards are based on playtime, point swing, swing combo, number of deaths, ways of death, total score, and bounty survival. To unlock all of the progressive awards, we're going to need to do the following. Play for a total of 90 minutes, which is super easy, barely inconvenience. Let's hope that this video is not that long. Obtain a point swing of 300 points. Again, that has to be in a single swing of your massive sword. Splat 8 enemies in a single swing. Cease to exist a total of 100 times. Don't worry, we get cloned each time that happens. See the light a total of 15 different ways. We have 1 so far. Obtain a total score of 3,000 in either Bounty Run or Single Nest mode. And survive for 10 minutes in a single run of Bounty Run. As for the rest of the types of awards, they're far easier, minus 1 of them. The other types are enemy encounter, enemy splat count, the 1 achievement in the practice mode, random actions you can do in the game, and specific requirements. Random actions include things like scaring a Clutter off screen for the Bully Award, or knocking a sharp out of bounds because you're scared and don't want to be stabbed again. Which is going to happen quite a lot. Specific awards include things like preventive measures, where you have to splat 2 Glooples as they merge into a Oozle, Gray, or Void Eater, which will make sense later. And sure, the score is crappy, but you probably saved yourself some heartache later. If you see what I did, leave a like. The rest of the awards are pretty self-explanatory, so let me make like the Glooples, and this is a bad joke. Wow. I can't believe I just read that. Continuing on, as I try again in the small nest, I take out the first of many blue boys known as biters, earning me the self-preservation award. If that didn't give you an idea how much these things are a pain and one's behind, I don't know what else to tell you. Except, It was then that I realized when I was going for the Pacifist Award, I could have been changing the music to earn the Picky Award. In doing so, I unlocked a reward key, which is nice. Reward keys are needed to unlock the usually worth it rewards, and with there being 10 of them, we need 110 rewards. Awards, not rewards, awards. And that's because, for some reason, we can't get the last key until we hit all 110 of them. While doing my best to survive, I somehow get the Bully Award for scaring a tiny clutter. That works, I guess. But as I realized that there was one last reward to get, another clutter decides to come around and start shooting me with the little clutters. And that's not good. So, wanting none of that, I decide to go and end its existence, and my middle finger decides to act up and I right click. This happens a lot, and it's frustrating, because what happens is it turns into a freaking snowball effect as I end up missing an important swing, getting hit by a sticky, not a quickie, bombarded with little clutters, getting the friendly award in doing so, and eventually having my skin melted off, giving me another step closer to some awards. Which is fine, I guess. I wasn't too upset, since I did get an award for the absolute nonsense that this glitter trap on my second attempt in the easiest nest. I promise you, I'm not upset. This is my happy place. And then at some point, I realized during that run, I had unlocked the Blade Master award for scoring 10 consecutive combo splats, so I guess that's fine. This is of course one of the easier gold medal awards to get, so long as you're going for points, but hey, I'll take it. A win's a win. From here, I take my first crack at unlocking rewards. Rewards are really interesting. Unless you've played the game before, you have absolutely no idea what lies behind each lock other than a game of Guess the Shadow. Luckily for me though, I have played this game, and with 2 keys under my belt, because I don't remember how I got the first one, I decided to unlock the reactive armor and the box gun. Little did I know, the box gun wasn't going to be used for most of the run, but it does come important later. Trust me. The reactive armor, on the other hand, is simple, as it acts as a second life, which is extremely useful and used in most of the run. You may have also noticed that although I have more than one reward unlocked, I can only pick one to be active at a time, and you would be right! For most of the run, I only have access to a single reward to be active until late game where I can have 2 rewards instead. This is pretty nice balancing mechanic because it keeps you running around to avoid enemies and puts importance on strategy. Or, hear me out, you could just unlock all the rewards and mow everything down, right? You could, until you get taken out by your own rewards. Oh, did I mention that earlier? Yeah, so as it turns out, some of your own rewards can take you out, so unless you're trying for that for like 2 achievements, you best be careful. You're welcome. With the box gun equipped, I go for the small nest once again and attempt to get another reward. A ward, not reward, a ward called Unbreakable. Basically, you have to hit a hard object with your massive sword at least 50 times. Instead, I blow up my new toy and get the test drive award for playing the game for 5 minutes. Yeah, you could probably tell this is going to be a long video. Don't worry, once all the simple awards are obtained, the video is going to go a lot faster. From here, it's just a simple run/repeat until, just like Mike Rowe, I also get down and dirty and covered in goo for at least a total of 60 seconds? No, sir, it's 30 seconds, which unlocks me the Dirty Jobs Award. So anyway, as I press forward, I take out a Melty, which unlocks the Hunter Award? Wait, did I already unlock the Mixed Blessing Award? Huh. Guess I did. Anyway, 350 score down, but I'm far from 3K, so let's go. As I near the end of clearing the small nest for the first time, I unlock the Warrior, Adept, and Expert total score rewards before a biter kills me 32 splats away from clearing this. Are you kidding me right now? Biters are literally the worst enemy in this game. It's not because they kill you so often, it's because they kill you so often. At literally the worst times, or they get you killed at the worst times. Seriously, I'm gonna put a counter on this video to show you how many times I died to each glue pool type along with the ranking system. For some reason, because that's in the script. And by the end, you'll see how many times I died to these things. Or maybe I'll add in a little sys-kill in there, I don't know. We'll see what post-production says. Anyway, upon unlocking those awards and reaching at least 30 awards, I unlock the Hidden Hard mode. Fitting that a biter is hitting the sword, but regardless, after changing the spawn limit to 8 for good reason I promise, I try out hard mode. Hard mode is pretty simple. It spawns every enemy that the nest level you're currently in can spawn right from the beginning, with the exception of nest progression enemies. So be prepared to immediately see biters when you have this mode on. After starting the nest in hard mode and getting to about 160-ish left or so, I unlocked a kind of fun award for playing 10 minutes total before. And I'm not entirely sure as the game just wipes me off the screen. But before I die. Now, for a split second editing, I can say I got nommed by an oozle before the fun box took me down. Seeing it was already a goner, it inadvertently took me with it. I don't know how or why, but I'll take it. Also, I realized I put a typo and I said it wrong. So for now, I'm calling it the fun box. Because even though in the script, it says box fun. And there's a joke about calling it the box fun and me, I guess, somehow being slightly dyslexic calling it the fun box. So I'm just gonna skip half that script and call it the fun box. After a few more tents in a small nest, I try my sword at the huge nest and I completely forgot that there are 500 gloopies to splat in this mode. And I don't like that. And I definitely didn't know at the time, but this nest is going to be the bane of my existence for this entire run. But throwing caution to the wind, I give it a try, and before I can clear 200 of them, which is basically clearing a small nest, I get absorbed once again by a noozle. Am I sure biters give me the most amount of deaths? Guess we'll find out at the end of the video. Luckily, before becoming one with the schmooze and its booze, I was able to unlock several awards, those being the accidental prone for being bumped 30 times, kinky, casual interest, preventive measures, hazmat, and one extra reward key. Hazmat is one of those enemy splat count awards. In this case, I splatted 50 Maltese. Kinky, I guess, I don't know. Luckily for these kind of awards, the higher the award tier, the less of the specific enemy I have to splat, which is a godsend when we get to the more ruthless enemy types. After going back to the main screen, I unlocked the Sprint Award with my new key that I only used one time, and I never use it again because it's not that good. Although there's apparently one use for it, but that's dumb. From here, I head to practice mode to run around and play with the new enemy type I ran to the huge nest. The Fuzzle. Definitely not trying to get a lawsuit. Anyway, these guys are a pain to deal with, but not as horrible as the biters. Due to their hair that's thicker than my father-in-law's pet Shih Tzu, you have to slash these guys 3 times in order to splat them. And just like the aforementioned Shih Tzu, the moment you shave off the hair with the second swing, they run away in terror, making it harder for you to finish them off. They're worth 13 points too. So yeah, definitely splat them, because you can rack up some easy combos with them. So here we are, me putting on the reactive armor and trying my hand once again with the small nest. There isn't anything too interesting to explain other than nabbing some awards, such as the Tooth Collector for splatting 50 biters, but I do run into something. A large yellow-green colored enemy type called an amalgam appears, and these guys can be very difficult very fast. Much like the Borg, every time they come into contact with the gloople, they absorb it and become much bigger. You can splat these things, but it takes more swings than my golf game. Sadly, even after enough swings, the amalgam splits off, and then there's another one you have to take care of. And if you don't, it also gets bigger. Do you see the potential problem this can cause? But despite my best attempts, I get covered in little clutters and the amalgam goes out on its own terms in a puddle of acid. Which sucks, because it robbed me an award. This, of course, would happen with only 69 glooples left in the nest. Nice. Not wanting to let that devastating situation ruin my good run, I press forward and... oh, wait, hold up. Let me rephrase. Pressing forward! No, that doesn't work here. I'll do it later. Anyway, I press forward and continue my onslaught of little slime dudes. Nearing the end of the nest count, I get hit with yet another clutter, but I don't give in, and I slay the last one, earning me both the Purple Heart and the Victory Award, which is nice. Victory should be self-explanatory as you get it for clearing the small nest for the first time, but the Purple Heart is one of the specific requirement awards. You can only get it when you clear a nest and you have at least one little clutter stuck onto you. See, I told you the litter clutters gave you specific awards. Wanting to get at least a little bit better at the game, I go into the small nest again to get better at, well, the game. Because unlike a certain other kind of game, there actually is a game here. And after 30 minutes of playing, I unlocked the Spare Time Award, which is a little ironic, because I don't want to say how late it was. As I get close to clearing the nest once more, my eyes shift briefly to the total score and my heart skips a beat. Not because I was falling asleep. It was because I had completely forgotten about a really easy to forget award. The Lucky Jackpot, All you need to do is reach a total score of 777, the lucky jackpot numbers. My total was at 734 when I noticed, and you may be thinking, 777 isn't too hard to get if you think of it, because, you're wrong. It actually is hard to get. Sadly, with only 23 gloopals left to nest, my brain went into calculus mode late at night. So it's definitely not a good time. Luckily for me, with the correct combos and staying vigilant enough not to die to a biter, I'm watching you son of a... Oh yeah, I'm trying to not swear in this. Regardless, I was able to get to 776 points, which meant I only needed to spot a single gloopal. And with that, I acquired the jackpot award. Damn, I'm good. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Afterwards, when I get down to one left to nest, I wait. For some stupid reason, I wait. Why didn't I spot the last one? Was I waiting for something? What point-related award could I even acquire with a mere 878 points? There is no reason to... Oh, yeah, that's right. So each nest has a specific type of enemy, and I was waiting for one. Sadly, for the small nest, the amalgam is the one of two that can spawn at the end of the nest. Although this ended up working for me, as I was now able to get the Immunology Award. Whoa, I don't think I could pronounce that. Immunology. Yes, Immunology. Let's hope I pronounce that right, because I don't want to try and pronounce that right. Feeling good about my progress, I decided to try my hand in practice mode. No wait, scratch that. I meant bounty run mode. I start up with the slow ramp in difficulty, because that's the smart way to go. No, seriously. Because I don't know what I'm in for, but I want to go for those bounty run exclusive awards, not rewards, awards. Remember, guys, awards, not rewards. These awards, awards, A-W-A-R-D-S, not R-E-W-A-R-D-S. Anyway, so these awards, as I literally just mentioned several times now, are only available in the bounty run. Simply put, you just have to survive long enough. So with the highest award being surviving for 10 real-life minutes, this is also a good mode to start out with to acquire some of those playtime awards. And I didn't do that. After what felt like hours, despite being only for a few minutes, I dodge, run, bump, slash, scream, and combo my way around the area while being constantly bombarded by enemies. I do unlock some awards such as Custard for splatting 100 stickies, and most of the bounty run awards. Alertness, danger sense, threat assessment, sharp reflexes, and keen instincts for surviving a total of 5 minutes. It was soon after that a biter would have killed me, if it were not for the reactive armor, and then immediately died to a melty exploding the wrong direction, melting me in the process. Fabulous. Time to try it again. But first, it's time for a quick shout out. You see, in an attempt to get another word, I decided to pause the game. That way I could talk to you about this wonderful podcast known as Dice of Chaos. Now, I only have 2 minutes or so until the award is unlocked, so I beg of you, please don't skip this part as it's very integral to the video. Dice of Chaos is a real play tabletop role-playing podcast where my friends and myself embark on wacky adventures. You see, I'm the kind of benevolent dungeon master, or DM for those who don't know what that is, and I like to throw my friends in the wildest of situations. From the classic Who's the Werewolf Among the Group to a spellcaster creating otter of alcohol and writing it, the show has a little flavor of chaos. Are you not... Werewolves not your thing? Are you listening to... Are you watching the right kind of video? How about expedition stories? Explore another cast of characters who must traverse an unknown land to find riches beyond their wildest dreams. Not into that either? Alright, how about pirates? You a One Piece fan? Yeah, that's right, we got that too. Not specifically One Piece, but we got pirates. Because you see, each thread within this wonderful podcast called Dice of Chaos has its own cast of unique characters with their own overarching stories. Thread 19 has werewolves and eternal conflicts, while the main thread is more so a world-building adventure filled with exploration, including pirates and kleptomaniacs. And no, I'm not joking. There was once a bard who decided to light a port on fire to then extinguish it in order to literally get it for cheaper, and then repair it with mending. With such an expansive cast, you can follow your favorite character through their own thread of existence, and maybe, just maybe, even enjoy some of that sweet, sweet chaos yourself. So feel free to check out Dice of Chaos on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and give them a follow. That way you too can embrace the chaos, one thread at a time. After waiting for the commercial break to end, I unlocked the Absentee Award and get back to work. Without a series of awards to mark how long I've been in the batting run, I can only keep going. In other words, I can only be pressing forward! As I near a score of 900, something absolutely terrifying happens. Oh, I'm sorry, the joke was horrifying and you'll understand why. Two biters decide to merge into a thing called a horror. No, really, that's why I mentioned the horror joke. But regardless, this thing lives up to its name. Except this time. As it makes itself vulnerable to attacks by attempting to jigsaw me, I rush and swing at it, giving me the Bravery Award, a new pair of pants, and the Commitment Award. Shortly after, an Inky comes after me, and no, not the Mario Squid thing, or the other Nintendo franchise, because I didn't say Inkling. But, I mean, same premise, in a way. If this little brat bumps into you, then the entire screen goes black for like 5 or 10 seconds. I didn't really count it. During that time, though, you are at the whim of RNG and luck. Speaking of luck, there are actually a couple awards for this occurrence, all of which I unlock in one go because I'm just that awesome and death wasn't anywhere near me. The first award is Blind Sight, awarded for surviving being blinded by an Inky. Tends to be one of those move around randomly and hope for the best situations. That's 2 if you're counting. The second award is for getting very lucky. If you don't see a new enemy type while being blinded and splat it, you get that enemy splat specific award. Trust me, I would say appropriate award, but that would be very confusing. But luckily, that exact thing of being very lucky happens to me, which gives me the Black Mark Award for splatting an Inky, despite being blind. And it's a little ironic, as this also gave me the final award that you can get for being blind as a bat, the Zen Master Award. Awarded for splatting an enemy while being blinded. There's also something about a Zatoichi reference in the award details, about something about being temporarily blind, but clearly I can't read what it says. After lasting longer than you on your second attempt, I ran into another new enemy type called a Sharp. These little brats are literally a pain. As they get close to you, they act like porcupines and extend their threatening spikes. And just like porcupines, it's just a defense mechanism. But it's super effective. No, seriously, it really is. One shot, you die. While these spikes are extended, you can't splat it. And if you try to use your massive sword, it only bounces off, and you're momentarily stunned as the Sharp gets deflected. Now, funny thing about that, though, is it's actually a good thing that, it decides to do this, because there's actually 2 awards. To actually splat the Sharp, you need to get behind it and wait for it to retract its spikes. Doing so gives me the Opportunist Award. I reached the 7-minute mark, unlocking the Nerves of Steel Award, which leaves me with only 1 Bounty Run exclusive award left. And with only 3 more minutes left to go, I begin to go into gamer mode. Hence, late night gamer. Bow, 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 bow. That was terrible. Don't ever do that again. I'm dodging, I'm swinging, I'm deflecting. Points are going up, biters are being slain. New enemy types are showing up, but I just don't stop. Is this where we cue the don't stop MC Hammer? Bam, 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 bam. Anyway, I don't stop until I hit the 2,000 point mark and unlock the Elite Award. From here, I pause to take a moment to calm my nerves, because I really needed to. Because unfortunately, I don't know how long I have left to go for the coveted award, the whole reason why I'm even in this stupid freaking mode the first place. But with the Champion and Hairball awards as well as unlocking the extra reward equipment slot, there's only one thing left to do. Yeah, so I die being less than 200 points away from the Hero Point Total Award, and by a biter, of course. Luckily, I no longer have to do the Bounty Run mode, as I obtained the Untouchable Award for surviving 10 entire real-life minutes in Bounty Run. And as an added bonus, the biter also gave me the Persistent Award. 59 awards in, I only died 10 times. That's pretty good. Next up, with 2 more keys, I go to the reward screen and unlock the Inhibitor and Hazard Suit. I'm just gonna say it, the Inhibitor sucks. Like, it really sucks. Sure, it scares away some gloopals, but if your whole goal is to slay them, then why are you trying to scare them? As for the Hazard Suit, this baby is one of the most useful rewards, and if I had 3 slots, I'd use 2 of them on this. And as the name suggests, while active, you're immune to hazards. Although, you still die if you get hit from enemies like biters and sharps and grinders, and I could keep going. But you don't have to worry as much when a Melty decides to get in your way, as the Hazard Suit protects you from its acidic spray, which is totally worth it. It even keeps you nice and clean from a Sticky's Quickie. And this suit, unfortunately, doesn't last forever. So put it to good use. It's still good to avoid the hazards as much as possible. And because of that, this suit will eventually be a lifesaver for this run. Oh yeah, I have 2 equipment slots. Well, with the Hazard Suit and the Reactive Armor equipped, I prepare myself for many, many more failed attempts. After dying enough times to still not suck after unlocking another award, I take down enough of those adult clutters to obtain the Litterbug award. And as the word suggests, you can only get this award for splattering 50 adult clutters. It even says so in the award details. And y'all thought I was crazy. As I come close to carrying the small nest again, I let an Oozle get a little too friendly with a Gloople, and, a new enemy called a Gray appears. These guys can attack from afar, and although they also take 3 swings to dispatch like the Oozle, these guys have a tendency to become impenetrable when they sense danger, which kinda sucks. And because of that, the only way to hurt them is to wait for them to attack you from a distance, run up, and then swing at them with your massive sword. Doing so gave me the Armor Piercer award. I ended up getting the Addiction award for playing this game for 1 hour as I decided to go for another golden award. Hooray! 63 awards in an hour. No, actually, I take that back. Hooray! Go me! Yay! Surely could have done better, but that's what being a badass is for. Oh, wait a minute. That's the name of the award I unlocked. Hex yeah! Let's go! This Badass award can be one of the hardest awards to get. Seeing as it's a gold award, you would think, well, yeah, it's gold. Of course it's hard. That's the point. But if you're playing this game for the first time, it really should just be the one and only Platinum award. In order to be a badass like me, you have to complete one of the nests without messing up once. This includes, but is also limited to, not being bumped by an enemy, dying, losing your reactive armor, walking to a hazard, being hit by a clutter's little clutter, and most importantly, not missing a single swing. That's right. If you're one spot away from clearing a nest and you miss by a frame, the award is ripped right out of your hands and tossed into Tartarus. Now, I could be wrong here, but I wouldn't be surprised if you also couldn't hit an enemy that bounces off your massive sword. Because in doing so, you're stunned, and that wouldn't be badass, because it would just be sad. As I try my hand at the big nest, feeling comfortable and with clearing the small nest consistently, I run to another Gray. As I debate on when to start going after the bloody thing, an enemy called a Grinder rolls by and barely misses its presumed target. That being me. How the developer borderline called out nap that wouldn't be available for a good amount of time baffles me. After the Grinder leaves, the Gray once again becomes a little too friendly with the Gloopy and turns into one of the game's most difficult enemies, the Void Eater. As I dispatch the Void Eater, I unlock the Enforced Gravity Award, but there's no time to celebrate as I must continue the extinction of the Gloopal Empire by being consumed in acid. Go figure. After looking back in the footage, have I been too harsh on these biters? Because at this point, I think I've died more to Melties and Oozles than anything else. Regardless, as I continue the same routine, I unlock the Paint It Black and Patient awards for spotting the correct number of Inkies and Sharps. Then, from there, I almost missed out on spotting a Grinder, but just barely managed to grab the Excavation award. So close I came to missing it. Soon after, I unlocked the That's What She Said award for spotting enough Oozles. Things are going well until I died once again. This time, to a Sharp. The first of several, I assure you. At least this gives me the Blood Letter award for dying 5 different ways. Hooray, 10 to go. By now, I'm sure you've been wondering why there's a count on the side of the screen. That's simply there so you can see how many different ways this game puts the little blue guy out of his job like an employee from Walmart. In all seriousness though, it's a nice little tracker that I wish I had to see what else needs to be done to unlock the Spotterbait award, where you need to bite the dust a total of 15 different ways. After doing a tiny amount of research in the game, apparently there's about 20 different ways to meet your end. So getting this award, unfortunately, is not easy, but that's why it's gold. As I keep going to learn a few things, one of which being how the tips work, and, there's a button for it. But who has time for reading? I'm here to splat some slime things, so that's what I'm gonna do. Until I knock out a Sharp out of bounds, giving me the Passive Aggressive award. See what I mean about random act rewards? This could have been awarded completely by accident unless you read the tips or know about it from the get-go. I knew about it from the get-go. Eventually, this game realizes I really want to get that 100% as it gives me the Completionist award for playing this little game for 90 minutes, or an hour and a half in long form. This doesn't trick me as I know there's still 35 awards to get. Oh boy. After clearing the big nest and getting another award, a biter attacks me from off screen and takes me out. You would think this give me an award, and you'd be right. Except for one thing. In order to get that award, the biter has to talk while off screen. This time, it didn't do so no award this time. On the right side, I did unlock the Till It Breaks, Tribble, and Impressionist awards. Till It Breaks and Tibber I remember acquiring, but I don't know when or how I took out 4 unique loopholes for the Impressionist award. I do meet the requirements later on in the run, so I'm going to take the gift horse while I can. For a while, nothing too exciting happens until yet another Void Eater rears its ugly head. But, just like last time, I dispatch it and immediately die to a puzzle. Surprisingly not a biter. Soon, as I get only 11 left in the nest, I take out a grinder and combo it with another enemy, giving me the Brutal Swing Award and an idea on how to get the 300 combo award. I don't have time to cook as the biters start to finally do their thing. Or the oozles? Did I just die to another oozle? Seriously? Come on, man, you make me look bad. Thanks for the Determined award, though, I guess. As I continue to be slowly driven insane as a courtesy of Albert Einstein, maybe? The saying with the clock, insanity. Anyway, I really get close to clearing the big nest when a new enemy appears. One that I mentioned a while ago. And one that I wasn't expecting to see until later on. Yep, the Queen. In no time, she bisects me and takes out an oozle as though we were conspiring against her. I mean, I clearly was, but the oozle was only doing its job. The queen is a rare spawn, and it is said, within the lore at least, that there's only one queen per nest. With her massive swords only rivaling my own, I know what I have to do. I have to take her queendom down and show that only my massive sword is allowed to spot the glooples. And so, to the practice room I go, where I get a lucky strut in before I hit a long, massive losing streak. You see, every time you attack her, she jumps back, and if you swing too early, she dodges, and if you swing too late, you miss your chance or she just outright slaughters you. Sadly, dying in practice doesn't count towards the death awards, neither does killing the enemy. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, or a few minutes as I get into the rhythm and find a way to slay the princess, queen, slay the queen. Speaking of princess? Am I stuck in a loop? Speaking of princess, if you want, I guess I could do a 100% run of Slay the Princess. Just be sure to let me know in the comments below if that interests you. Hell, while you're at it, give me a subscribe as well. You've come this far, you kind of owed it to yourself. As I fight my way through the big nest for a well-earned rematch, I die some more. Because of course I do. Even a biter got me, which was nice, kind of. I mean, for me to prove a point, but not actually dying to a biter. Along the way, I run into my third and final Void Eater that I care about splatting, and in doing so, earns me the Physics to Fight award. Which is a gold award, by the way. Woo! The only thing that makes this a gold award is how time-consuming it is to get one once you learn how to take out the Void Eater. Now don't get me wrong, a single error can still get you a game over screen from one of those things, but an award is an award, and I can't wait to no longer have to deal with these guys again. With that and some more attempts, I get to a point where there's only one gloople left in the nest. So I do the most COD thing I can think of. I camp. Yup. With only one gloople, as long as you dodge the ones that actively attack you, you can use this as an opportunity to try and force spawn specific enemy types that can spawn in that nest. It's really useful to use. And if you don't know what I mean about the COD joke, think Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, those kind of games. You'll know what I mean. Hopefully. I try again and fail, but in doing so, it was to a biter, and it felt so bad that it gave me the Unfortunate award. Eventually, after some more attempts, I get to the last gloople left in the big nest. I try to go for the queen, but then, and only then, was when I realized how stupid it is, and how easily I could get the Mad Skill awards for not being an idiot. In doing so, I also unlocked the Hero award for my total score reaching at least 2,500, or 2,500. Whichever makes you math more, or less. Math less. We'll go with math last. Something I forgot to mention about the nests, and one more reason why I prefer them over bounty. When you clear a nest, you get nest clear bonus points. For small, it's 300, 600 for big, and I have no idea what the bonus is for clearing a huge nest. Maybe I'll find out in post. With the highest point total award being at 3,000 points, so long as you reach 2,400 points before clearing the big nest, you can obtain that award, and with the grinders being worth 100 points, as well as being able to spawn in this nest, as well as the huge nest, it makes it really worth it. I also found this to be an effective way to reach that award. Being 120 points shy of reaching the award on the first clear of the big nest, I was onto something. Or on something. In fact, I might be on something right now. I don't know. I'm just reading a script. Although, it could just be an overabundance of excitement of writing a little podcast known as Dice of Chaos. And if you haven't already, feel free to check them out on Spotify and Apple Podcast. With self-plugging out of the way, it's time to slay the queen. But first, I try again and tackle the huge nest as though I haven't learned my lesson by now. Sadly, I don't even splat 200 glooples.
So I try again. This time I actually splat more than 200. I even ran into a new enemy type called a Torchy. I don't like them. Why would I? They are on literal fire, just like my hand for spending too much time with the mouse. Now, I'm not entirely sure what happened, but there was a big bonfire that I foolishly tried to put out. Luckily, I was still equipped with the hazard suit, so I ended up being fine. I even got the firefighter award for putting out enough of the small fires. Smokey would be proud, because only you can prevent forest fires. Unless lightning strikes, in which case you may not be able to prevent that forest fire. To my surprise, I make it to 194 gloopals left in the nest before Melty sprays the wrong way. Again. I also get the Cold Front award during the attempt. I don't know when, I don't know how, but nice. The last silver award for splatting different enemy types is to splat a Torchy. You know, Torchy, the little guy who's on fire. And so I try to do just that. I go into a huge nest once again on purpose, just so I could run to a Torchy. When I eventually do, it's just as I swing my sword to dispatch a fuzzle, and upon impact, there's an explosion greater than you know what? Nah, that joke's a little too dark for me. At some point, I get this wonderful idea to try and get some of the sword combo awards, and I go absolutely bonkers as I reach to a single gloopal left in the nest, and I attempt to force spawn an adult clutter. The reason for this is simple on paper. Clutters cannot end your attempt. They can only slow you down to a complete stop from which other enemies can finish you off. So, by exploiting that, I thought of an idea. If I could get enough of them on the screen, and maybe scare them around into one another, I could get the highest 8 combo swing award. Yeah, I completely failed. Defeated, I do the only sensible thing. I go into practice mode, set up for only stickies to spawn, and sit there in the yellow goo for an insurmountable amount of time. No, really, I stay there until I get the academic award. And then I waited even longer because I left the room for a bit during this. So I have no idea how I actually needed to stay there, but here we are, covered head to toe in sticky yellow goo. Now this is a dirty job. Micro would be proud. At some point through the entire time of trying to get a rematch with the Malice Queen Red Ransom, I was able to tame the Dismantler, Gorehound, and No Fear awards. The Dismantler is easy, as you only had to take out 5 grays. The Gorehound was purely on accident, but well worth it as I faced another Void Eater. Feeling bad for being an absolute tyrant towards it, I decided to go easy and let it Thanos me with its Death Ray. Did I make 2 completely different references to 2 completely different IPs? Yes. Yes, I did. Are these IPs both earned by Disney? If so, let's continue to the No Fear award. This award is given for splattering 3 horrors. The first 2 were easy, the last one decided to grow a brain and an army, as it wouldn't unleash its vulnerable core for the longest time. Instead, it shoots out spikes that, when it hits another gloopal that isn't a biter, turns it into a biter, and soon I was swarmed with biters. Is the horror also based off the Borg? Because that's what it feels like. Luckily, I was able to finish the horror off, but only because of the reactive armor saving me from becoming Shrek's famous rat on the stick. Soon, I decided to give up on the rematch with the Red Queen and focus on some of the more obscure awards, such as shaving the same puzzle 3 times. Yeah, if you don't splat them, they can actually, and will, regrow their hair back, which I guess makes sense. Doing so gives me the clean shave award, but I wasn't done yet. Thanks to the hazard suit, I was able to splat the frosty enemies without fear of being harder than the massive sword, which in most cases isn't usually a bad thing, but in this game it is, as with nearly all cases of being frozen solid. With help from the hazard suit, I was able to snag the antifreeze award, except I don't see a car, but I'll take it. Try as I might, I was unable for quite a long time to unlock any more awards, at least until I was on a good attempt with the hugeness when I decided to light myself on fire. For absolutely no reason. No, seriously. I just decided to do it. Like, what was I thinking? I mean, you know, it ended as well as you thought it would. But hey, you know what? It's another death added to the list. Speaking of list, I really hate dying to literally anything in this game when my finger decides to right click. I know this is like the 3rd time I've mentioned it, but it's completely true. This little unwelcome reflex gets me closer to the final death award, but it's still not a fun time. On the bright side, I learned that the torches can't stay lit forever, and just like the rest of us, must come down at some point, giving me the opportunity I need to splat it and unlock the Bomb Squad award. And soon after, I was able to score the Frostbitten award as well. Thank goodness for that hazard suit. Fire and ice,
That wasn't quite the name of the format, but it was still fun. Yu-Gi-Oh! Jokes aside, Frostbitten is a bit of a difficult bronze ward to obtain. First, you need to hit by or within the diameter of a Frosty when it explodes, which it does when it splats. Similar to an Inky, Melty, Sticky, or Torchy. Except it doesn't, explode and kill you immediately like the Torchy does. From there, you have to move your mouse back and forth fast enough to break out of the ice before literally anything touches you. And I mean literally. Because if you're too slow or there are two enemies in the area, you die. And you won't get the achievement. Because you'll just be shattered. Whew. Well, I think we're at the point where the video is almost over. We have 96 awards out of 110. Surely this video is almost over, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know why I lied just then.
How much footage is there left? Are you glooping kidding me? Well, at least we got all the bronze awards and most of the silver awards, which means it's time for the onslaught of the gold awards. Well, let's get to it. First, the silver awards, or award. First, demolition. How did I not see that we got that one already? Well, we get it for surviving an explosion caused by a Torchy. Chances are it happened when the first Torchy dropped by for a visit, so I'll gladly take another gift horse and add it to my stable. Second is the other achievement involving Torchies. In order to get this award, you have to set yourself on fire and survive. Now you may be thinking, how do you manage that? Well, if you're not like me, you'll read the tips first and learn that by stepping into sticky goo while on fire, you'll extinguish the flames. How did I find that out? I'll tell you. But first is the Killer Swing Award. By splatting a grinder and at least 2 other gloopies of any variety, you get a ×3 bonus. Since grinders are worth 300 points, that makes a minimum of 300 points, giving us a hard and easy-ish award to execute. As I continue to try and clear the huge nest, my mind is trying to find a way to light myself on fire. Wow. Please don't take that out of context. I express self-burning in terms of the game with every intention to put out the fire for an award. I promise. Anyway, I come across a Torchy and the answer to my dilemma. That, once again, could have been answered by actually reading the tips, which I clearly never do. The Torchy runs into a Sticky, and when I was sure that my temp was in there, the Torchy is no longer lit. Now, as sad as it may have been, this little gloople is no longer as high as a kite, and that gave me the idea to get that last silver award. So I began my quest, to either unlock the last silver award, or run into and slay the queen. After several attempts, as I was beginning to lose hope, I ran into an attempt where not 1, but 2 full episodes of Torchies decided to try and give my life a lit. What? Whoa, what am I on? Jeez. Anyway, turns out it was just one and a gloople caught on fire and burned into a small black smudge. Huh. Neat. Luckily, an Inky came by as well, and after splatting it, the Torchy lit the ink spot ablaze. Everything was coming together. Just needed a quickie sticky. Luckily, my answers were answered as a sticky came into view and extinguished the Torchy. Taking my chance, I lit myself on fire and do what I can to make it to the gooey savior. My award was writing on this. Whew, and with that, I received the Burn Award. Wow. Try saying that 5 times fast. Go ahead, I'll wait. Yeah, so anyway, as it turns out, the Burn Award is a gold award and not a silver, which makes this even sweeter. From here, there's only 1 silver award to acquire, and that was my next goal. I go back into the nest and eventually come across an amalgam. After dispatching it with my massive sword, its gooey inside splattering the crystal tiles. Anyway, I unlocked the Purifier Award, because I definitely need that now. Not wanting to join the religious practices of the nest, I make haste and try my hand once again at the Combo Swing Awards. I get close, but I fail at the 8 Combo Swing. Instead, I get the Sick Combo Award for splatting 6 glooples in 1 swing, as well as a reward key. Totally okay with that. With only 10 awards and 3 rewards to seize, there's only one thing left to do. Unlock the Wall Reward and cry, as a good number of the rewards isn't the most useful. Yeah, there's a reason as to why I don't really mention the rewards. They each have a purpose, but outside of early rewards, most of them aren't really useful this far into the game. As time marches on, I try once more, or maybe twice more, for the combo swings. This time I ended up having several gloopies left in the nest in an attempt to give me a second chance in case I messed up getting the 8th swing the first swing. And it was going okay. Until she's here for the rematch, and at the worst time, I'm being overrun by glooples. We swing back and forth.
My massive sword versus hers. Her minions try their best to aid her, but I'm having none of it. It was at this point that I got the Duelist Award, but apparently I'd already got it way back when I fought the Queen the first time. Man, I'm tired. As my fatigue starts to set in, this boss monster rushes in and activates my reactive armor, freeing me from the soft, warm, of a comfy pillow and comfy bed. But nay, I say, nay! I have an award to claim and a reign to end. I fight back, but the Queen is already dead? My reactive armor finished the job. What was I to do? It was then that I noticed a little, let's say, parting gift that the Queen left behind. Yes! This is beautiful. See, this little guy is going to give me my deserved rematch. And I gotta stop calling it a little guy, but I don't know what else to call it. Because this little guy is the Queen's special little ability. As you fight her, she'll tend to drop a few of these things. They can't hurt you, and you can just, do anything to squish them. But if a Gloople absorbs one of them, it stays dormant within them until the Queen is taken out. From there, the little bug undergoes a terrifying, fast-acting metamorphosis, and the infected Gloople becomes the new Red Queen. Finally, the rematch I've been waiting for. Wasting no time, I finished the job and the Queen's reign is no more! I'm the Lancia now! No more banishing for you! After finally getting the Red Queen award, I decided to start farming for more queens. After all, I do need to slay more of them for the other awards she'll give me. It's an arduous task, but a task I must do regardless. As I lie in wait for the last queen to show up, I get an unexpected surprise. Yeah, so that was the actual boss in Amorphous Plus. Yeah, did you know this game had a boss? I didn't! But that explains a few things. You see, in the award screen, the first and fifth rows are dedicated to each enemy type within the game. But with so few awards left to grab, the first award in the both and the second and sixth row remain a mystery. Were they specific reward requirements? Random action awards? A little bit of both? Nah, they were for this boss, and she has an appropriate title for it as well. The Razor Queen. The Razor Queen is the real queen bee. Think Michael Phelps when it comes to swimming, or that one meme with the girl on the couch. You know what? No, that's actually a terrible example. Point is, this behemoth is not only what every specific Reddit user wishes to crawl into bed with, but it takes 5, count them, 5 swings to take her down. Sure, it sounds just like a little more work, but when her entire body can end you, slaying the actual queen makes it so much more difficult. In fact, it is so difficult that the devs gave you 3 chances to rematch her. Not with the Red Queen, the Razor Queen. She hits so hard that not even the reactive armor is enough to stop her from basically OHKOing you. I rematch her again and again. And after that, I took her to practice and kept failing. I kept going. By the time I was able to only get 2 swings into her, I discovered something. The Fun Box. It's the cheapest way to deal damage on her, but more importantly, when deployed, she's like a moth to a flame. This gave me a chance. One that I needed to exploit in the nest. I couldn't tell you how monstrous this queen was. She takes almost half the screen. She can go into an invulnerable turret mode with even more ways to end your attempt. She's so brutal, and yet this boss monster is so much fun to fight against. Defeating her will be worth it. You see, long ago at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that there are 11 rewards to obtain, and yet you only get 10 of them by unlocking them with reward keys. The last reward is only available by delivering the final blow to the Razor Queen. A reward so glorious that the massive sword that the game gives you is jealous of its sheer awesomeness. And yes, I try to put a Kung Fu Panda reference in there. As I kept going, trying to rematch her again and again, failing again and again, I reached another milestone. I died so many times that I finally earned the tireless award for dying 100 times. Finally, only a few more to get. 2 of those are tied to the Razor Queen, and so I press forward. I do eventually run into a standard queen, and although I'm trying to get the award for slaying her 3 times, I mess up, and she activates the reactive award, stealing my award from me. Again. But no matter, I wasn't after her just yet. If anything, at this rate, she would be a bonus, but nothing more than a distraction from my current goal. After what felt like hours of trying to force spawn the Razor Queen, I'm successful. nice. And then I die. Not nice. Upon the rematch, a miracle happens. She dies, finally, as the fun box blows her up, but something's wrong. I don't get an award. Did I not do the final blow? Great. So I have to find her again and slay her again just to get this one achievement. Okay, well, at least I'm on the big nest and she's worth 500 points. So as long as I can clear this nest, I should be able to get the 3,000 point award. Cue seething rage. And so with me being at my wit's end, I try one more time to slay the Razor Queen. Try as I might, I am crushed by her massive swords once more and I head off to bed. My mind was racing that night, unable to get over the fact that her swords are bigger than mine and how much I wanted to finish 100%ing the game. The next night, I was doing my thing, just trying to get the Razor Queen to spawn, and after what felt like a few hours, she finally spawned. Naturally, I died on the first attempt, but in the rematch, something amazing happened. As I launched my fun box strategy, I tried my hand at a slightly different tactic. Rather than trying to deal as much damage as I could from the get-go, I let my fun box do as much of the heavy lifting as I can. After the Razor Queen destroys the toy, I go in for a few opportune moments that I can. I even still have an onslaught of her turret mode for a round. Woo! Let's go! Then, I make my final move. I dodge her attack and I swing my massive sword. Delivering the final blow, I earn the Epic Award.
Defend the sword as the hands of Lady Leonardo there singing. You successfully.
And because I was so excited, I didn't even realize that I unlocked the second and just as hard award. You see, way earlier back towards the beginning of this video, I mentioned the bully achievement and how I didn't even get it when I should have. As it turns out, in order to unlock any specific awards, you must first have acquired the first time enemy slay award. So when the fun box slayed the Razor Queen, it counted as a kill count. But since I didn't deal the final blow, I couldn't unlock the Epic Award, and thus I couldn't unlock the Merciless Award. So even though the fun box had taken her down twice, I couldn't unlock either award until I delivered the final blow at least once. And so, having earned the Epic Award and inadvertently the Merciless Award, I gained the Special Key. I can't quite unlock the amazing reward just yet though. When you rematch the Razor Queen, the entire nest resets as well. With the fresh 500 points to basically start with and a 600 clear bonus, I only needed to obtain 1900 points in this attempt in order to obtain the 3000 score award. And since I've cleared this nest before, surely it's not going to be that hard, and I'm dead. Okay, fine, whatever, that's great, that's just great. Let's just get the long-awaited reward and wreck some slimes. With only 5 awards left and a single reward to unlock, and a brand new shiny weapon, this is going to be a cakewalk. Wait, I can only have one thing equipped? Oh, the new blade is a reward. That makes sense. Anyways, for this new, massive sword, this is called the Razor Glaive, and it is a beast of a weapon. Capable of dealing a lot of damage, this is a true beauty in the game, and I finally have it, for the first time too. No, seriously, I've not once have ever been able to defeat the Razor Queen, let alone hold this glorious beauty. This is it. I'm going to 100% this game. I got this. So what does this weapon actually do? Well, for starters, this is a massive sword, and it puts the massive sword to shame. It's bigger, it's harder, and it's just overall better than the standard weapon. The Razor Glaive deals an equivalent of 3 swings compared to the standard weapon. For anyone interested, the standard weapon that I've been referring to as the massive sword is called the Splatmaster 3000. Getting back on topic, with such power comes even more bonuses. Since each swing is equivalent to 3 slings, this affects enemies that take 3 hits to kill as well. Oozles, Fuzzles, and Greys now only need 1 hit to splat. The glaive is also capable of cracking grinders on the first swing and just bypass the defenses of sharps altogether. Sadly, this piercing doesn't work against the Greys. Trust me, I tried. They must be like too technologically advanced, but oh well. Inoka is more than worth it. This glaive can even 2-shot Razor Queens. Yeah, that's right, 2-shot them, not 5, 2. On top of all of that, there's one more bonus, the swing radius. The Razor Glaive has a longer reach and a slightly wider swing radius, and because of that, I can, for sure, get 100% and nothing's gonna stop me. Well, except maybe the one drawback of this reward. While equipped, your speed is slightly reduced, supposedly making it harder to get out of the death's reach. But when nothing can get close to you, unlike before, it's hardly a downside. And so, with the glaive as my new bestie, I set off to clear the huge nest once and for all. And die a gruesome death once again. That's okay, I just need to keep trying. I got this. After countless attempts, I keep going. Sure, I already unlocked the Relentless Award for dying 100 times, but if it takes 100 more to clear this stupid nest, I will, and nothing will stop me. After dying too often, I decided to switch to the equipped hazard suit for the reaction arm to give me 1 extra life. So long as I don't run into too many Frosties or Torchies, I should be okay. With each attempt prior to this decision, I've gotten several gloopals closer, and this will be no exception.
Whew! I did it! Haha! I cleared the huge nest. And on the first attempt after switching to the reaction armor. Irony is not lost on this one, but I'll gladly take this win as I no longer have to play on this nest anymore. Happy as a clam and a fresh tide, I take my spoils and look at the remaining awards. 2 swing combos and the 15 ways to die awards are left. Unsure of how else I could end this poor blue dude's life for the benefit of myself, I turn towards the combo line. But, unfortunately, I have no such luck. Out of time, I turn to hit the hay for the night. The next chance I get, I'm playing. I don't care if it's 2 in the morning, it's Friday night, and I don't have to go to work tomorrow, which means it's game time. Time to do this. 3 awards left. I decide to go after, what should I go after first? As I hit the big nest going for a combo swing, a thought occurred to me. Besides slicing me with their massive swords, did the Razor Queen officially take me out any other way? Curiously, I do what I can to try and force spawn her. At least that was the plan. But before I can get to the final gloopal, the Razor Queen hears my challenge and shows up, threatening to foil my plans. Little did she know, my body was ready. Literally, I had re-equipped the hazard suit in an attempt to make the combo plan a little easier. So, with the single swing, she could end me. I didn't want her to swing at me though. No. See, instead, I wanted her to impale me with her massive spike. The one that she shoots in turret mode. Get your mind out of the gutter. No, seriously, get it out of there. It's dirty, it's filthy in there. You don't want it. Regardless, I dodge and weave, run like a coward until finally, she does exactly what I've been waiting for, and I take a hit for the award. And with that, I was right. Woo! This was the last death I officially needed for the last death-related award. And with the impalement, I received the Splatterbait award. Finally, the only thing I needed to do was the combo swings. So long as I splat 8 gloopals in a swing, I not only unlocked the 8 swing award, but the 7 swing award as well, since these 2 fall under the progressive award line. I set out with the hazard suit and my mega massive sword. What comes next is truly cinema. Despite my small amount of practice, I've rushed in thinking I understood well enough of what I was doing. Clearly I didn't have to take on another Razor Queen in a small nest. Now you show up here? Seriously? Rude. Anyway, I lose and restart at some point, try again. I get on a roll and just under half the nest was remaining, and when I finally catch myself, a lucky break. Splatting 4 tiny clutters and 3 gloopies, I unlocked the penultimate award, the incredible combo. Now listen, it wasn't the 8 combo swing, but hey, I'll take it. I'm merely 1 swing away from accomplishing the task I had set out to do. Just 1 more. How long could it take? Spoiler, it took like 10 minutes. Now, I know, it's not very climactic, but can you blame me? It's just a single swing. There was like no way it was going to take me another hour to do with the super mega awesome special sword at my side. With adrenaline pumping through my fingertips, my heart pumping more iron than, I don't know, Iron Man. Listen, I'm trying to be dramatic here, okay? Regardless, I pushed through. 1 final attempt. Naturally, I picked the small nest. The nest that started it all. And it's gonna end it all. Right here, right now. I swing my glaive. And without a care in the world, I keep swinging until a clutter comes along. My gamer senses kick in and I was on it like a bee on a nectar. Like bee's knees on a nectar's fleas? What? I am way too tired for this. Oh, finally. I did it. With the intention to cleave through a barrage of tiny clutters, I accidentally splat 8 fully adult clutters, earning me the final award. Unbelievable combo. Then just as the name suggests, a biter finishes me off. Unbelievable, of course it does. But you know what? With that, I do the craziest thing I've always wanted to do in this game. I went to practice mode and sent every enemy in the game after me. Turns out the Void Eater is the most terrifying to gloopal. The moment it was able to unleash its death ray, everything else literally died. As I look at all the awards, I soon realize I'm not 100% yet. Great. Okay, well, it's fine. There's only one thing to do. So I go to the reward screen and unlock the last reward with the final key, thus completing Amorphous Plus at 100%. Whew, finally. Thank you so much for sticking away all the way through the video. It really does mean a lot to me. A lot of time and effort went into making this video, including driving my wife almost insane with the constant bombardment of excitement I kept throwing at her for the awards I kept unlocking. Specifically, the Razor Queen Award. Well, you probably heard it, so. Anyway, just so you guys know, there will be more of these completionist videos to come, so if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you have a game you think I'd like to try, and 100%, feel free to leave it in a comment below. Now that that's out of the way, some final thoughts on Amorphous Plus. And maybe, just maybe, one more plugin for Dice to Chaos, please check it out. I really enjoyed this game. It's been a long while since I played it, but it still has that hack and slash charm. Plus, getting the razor glaive and sliding those sharps in one shot was so rewarding. If you ever get a chance to play this game, I highly recommend trying it out. Just keep in mind it is a flash game. So, there's your info. Do what you will with it. With my first 100% game under my belt, at least on this channel, because, I've 100% games before, I promise, it's time to try and complete another game. Later, though, I gotta get some sleep. Being a late night gamer is hard to do if you don't get any sleep. So with that, I'll see you on the next one.